Hello lords and ladies, welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon. Unfortunately, the site that I watched this show on didn't have this up until late last night, so I'm only getting around to reviewing it now. Let's get to it then. Episode 7, Lady Wi-Fi, is a fun little episode that involves Alia finally getting her turn at being an akumatized villain, after she's suspended from school because she snapped a photo of Chloe, who she suspected of being Ladybug. Which is a funny thought, to be honest. Sure, being a jerk could be a great cover for your superhero double life, but I doubt any real hero would do that. It'd be easier to just be unassuming than draw attention to yourself. What's even funnier is Chloe spends her nights dressing up as Ladybug. It's kind of cute. It makes you forget that she's a B-word. This mirrors the Spider-Man comic books, actually, where in the past, Peter Parker's biggest bully, Flash Thompson, was part of the Spider-Man fan club and dressed up as his favorite hero from time to time. So all kinds of irony there, considering Chloe picks on Marinette relentlessly, who really is Ladybug. I'm wondering if there will come a day when Chloe finds out the secret, and maybe starts treating Marinette better. I doubt it happens in Season 1, because pretty sure a fan told me that so far in the sub version, she still acts like a jerk. Now, I really like that Alia was the villain of this episode, and her powers really fit who she is, which makes for a great inversion of herself. She seeks out the truth, and her akumatized version does the same, but with more of an evil intent. Now, while I did enjoy the whole friend versus friend thing that this episode was going for, the fact that Marinette didn't view it as fighting her friend but as saving her, and that characters seemingly have no memory of being akumatized, doesn't give us any sort of deeper look at Alia, or her friendship with Marinette, or even with her quest to unmask Ladybug. Although I do have to keep in mind that the show was going for a slightly lighter tone than the original concept, so I may have to give this a pass, but it still bugs me. Not that this episode was a letdown in any way. No. As I said, it was really fun seeing Alia get her chance to be the big bad, even if from time to time she didn't come off that villainous. A few times it was just melodrama that didn't really come off seriously. Came off more corny. And the idea of a villain whose power comes from herself is pretty silly, but genius at the same time. In a time where a person's cell phone is almost an extension of who they are, it's interesting to see it take on more of a negative connotation, literally, in this episode. I'd love to see some of the past Akuma that older Ladybugs have had to deal with. Can you imagine an old-timey telephone villain? Or a telegraph one? Oh man, someone make some fan art of that. I'll definitely feature it in a video if you do. In this episode, we also see that Adrian is becoming more and more interested in who Ladybug really is. Although there's only been 7 episodes thus far, in the earlier ones, he didn't seem all that interested in who she was under the mask. However, after the copycat incident, I think it's become something he's thinking about more often. Heck, in this episode, he asks about her identity twice, the second time being the most heartbreaking.
Stay! I won't tell anyone who you are. Cat's honor.
Nobody must know who we really are. Not even us.
You can almost feel his love for Ladybug in that scene. I'm not crying. You're crying. And while he is momentarily tempted to peek and see who she is, he doesn't. Which, in my opinion, is more proof that he does actually have real feelings for her, and that he's mature, because he respected her not wanting to reveal her secret identity. Although the last part of the episode made it seem like she was going to reveal something to him, or Adrian, I may need to rewatch that scene. Some notable moments of the episode was the reveal that the Ladybug's mask can't be removed because magic, which I think really subverts many a superhero story where the hero is in a compromising position and about to have their mask taken off. Although the downside of this is all you have to do is remove her Miraculous and her identity is revealed, so I guess the magic thing is only really useful against regular people who think they can expose her and not Hawkmoth goons coming after her. That about wraps up my review of this episode. It was a pretty good episode, not perfect, but still a great one nonetheless. In other news, a fan asked me when I'd make a video on the anime version of Miraculous Ladybug, so I decided to talk briefly about that at the end of this review. So, if you haven't heard by now, Thomas Astruc has confirmed that a Ladybug OAV, original animated video, is in production by Toei Animation. Now, keep in mind this is not confirmation of an entire anime series, but rather one video. The only other details we currently have is that Adrian will still be Cat Noir and not Felix like the previous PV, and that it's set in Shanghai, I think. Oh, and I may make a full video on stuff like this later, but remember, the PV we all saw of a 2D Ladybug was not like a teaser trailer or an original pitch or something. It was a pitch, but it was from Toy Animation to convince the other developers of the series, including the creator, to do the show as an anime. But it didn't work, and they went with CGI instead. The original intent of the creator, of course, was never to be an anime, like I just said. It was Toy Animation. But now we're at least getting some anime in the form of that OAV. So there you go. Oh, and also seasons 2 and 3 of the show have been confirmed to be in production. Get hyped for probably at least 2 more years of Ladybug. Yeah. Anyway, it's time to wrap up this video. If you have any thoughts about the episode, feel free to share them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the review, please leave a like or consider subscribing for more Miraculous Ladybug reviews. Thanks for watching. Take care.